Welcome, welcome. It's been a little while since I've recorded a video, so let's see how we're doing here. I'm William Cameron Casper, Dr. Casper, and today we are going to talk about teams and teamwork. As you can see from the photo, there is a professional football team there, um, the Eagles, of course, and that's typically what we think about when we think about teams, right? Teamwork and the ability of individual players to work together to do well, to achieve something in the end. Let's see. There we go. But as we know, teams are fundamental to almost every endeavor that us humans on this planet do. They enabled us to go from an agricultural society to settling cities and creating the great democracies and nations that we have now. Uh, the building blocks, basically, of teams are the family. You start in the family. What are the goals of a team that is a family? Basically, happiness. Maybe it's to get the meal on the table. Maybe it's to raise and nurture. But there are goals associated with the family, which is a basic unit of society, and then it goes from there. Typically, in human resources or any aspect of business, you will be involved in teams. You will be part of a team, multiple teams at the same time. And I highly recommend that you memorize this idea, this framework for understanding teams and how teams function and how they enable groups to perform better. So, as I just mentioned, you will be part of a team. It doesn't matter if you want to or not, if you think that you're a good team player or not, you will be part of a team. You probably are part of a team. So, jump on board. Let's get going with this particular model of teamwork. It's called Tuckman's model, Bruce Tuckman. 4 stages that he originally came up with, and then he came up with a 5th stage, or somebody else came up and added it, which was mourning on the end, or a journey. We'll talk about that. But here is his model: forming, storming, norming, and performing. There are many other models of the stages of teamwork and team development. This is a good one, pretty easy to remember, and I find it very useful as young folks such as yourself, or students, or people joining teams try to envision what is going on within the team, how the conflict is sorting itself out or not sorting itself out, and how to perform better. So forming is basically when the group gets together, right? You develop a team. You maybe has some goals or some objectives associated with that formation, like the draft. You select, what team that you're going to go on, and then at that point, it's a lot about courtesies, and people are typically on their best behavior, and that may work for a little bit, but that is just the initial stages of forming, the niceties, if you will, of a group forming. The next is storming. It is how issues are surfaced. Almost everybody deals with limited resources, and how you incorporate those limited resources, whether it be knowledge or money, labor, capital, whatever it is, into the best ideas that will allow the team to be successful. Who makes those decisions? How the group comes up with the ideas to make the decision. And in this phase, you do deal with the issues of power and control. Conflict arises and doesn't necessarily get resolved, but it arises. Norming is when the group figures out how to deal with these conflicts that arise. They find the norms. Somebody might be loud and boisterous, another person quiet. They're all voicing their opinions in conflict. Conflict, not a bad thing. Conflict, just a disagreement of ideas. If we all had all of the same ideas, teams wouldn't be important, but they are. Study after study indicate that team decisions are much better than individual decisions. All right, so they find ways to deal. The team finds ways to deal with the conflicts. And then performing. Once those norms are established, the team can then perform, building upon all of the strengths of the team. members as well as the team function in itself. And then finally, adjourning, typically the final stage, the trophy ceremony, or when the team disbands, maybe a project is done if it's that simple, and you're finding closure and moving on. So in this class, we talk a lot about teamwork and teaming and these stages of teamwork. We do this Legos activity, we do mini group activities, and then the final presentation. Why? Because almost every time in business and in your life, you're going to be dealing with teams. And this is a takeaway that will enable you to deal better with teams and perform better as a team member. Now, like I like to say, this is an old quote, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach somebody to fish, you can eat for a lifetime. I do like to fish, fly fishing. It's my particular hobby right now. But what I'm going to try to do is to teach you how to do the teamwork, the basic fundamentals of teamwork, teach you how to fish, teach you how to do teamwork, not just tell you about it. And that's why we did this activity with the Legos. It was a microcosm of how to get together and how to work through the forming, the storming, the norming, performing. And at the end of the semester, hopefully it'll be a good adjourning process. So how is the total learning process applied then? This is a quiz and a test question typically in this class. And this is an explanation of how I like to teach. I don't typically do a lot of lectures such as this one, but I do feel it important to explain it. Then we show how it works, such as the Legos or other activities, and then you do it. You act, then you do it, and then we explain it again, and that equals an ability to retain information. So again, teams critical to organizations. They're critical to you and your success in the business world. And hopefully in this class, you will learn how to grow as a team member, to understand how teams form. And yesterday I was watching the Super Bowl, and I just wanted to say that I thought it was great that this song, I didn't really listen to all of it, but a great philosopher, basically she said, my lips don't lie, so that's what I say to you. My lips are not lying. Teamwork is extremely important to you and your career. Okay? Thank you. How do I turn this off?